Hey there, this is Dale from DaleDialy.com and Healing Osteoporosis Naturally. And in this video, I want to talk about why I'm such a big fan of natural healing. Now, natural healing obviously only works if you put in the right ingredients for your particular body and lifestyle. So it's not just about what you eat or drink, it's about everything else that's going on around you, what I call the environmental factors. Now, at the beginning of January, my spine fractured. I sustained 2 what they call compression fractures, and we'll talk about bones and fractures and things like that in other videos. And as I make this video, we are at the beginning of August, so you can see the elapsed time. So as soon as these fractures happened and I learned that I had osteoporosis, the first thing I started to look at was, what did I need to fuel my body to rebuild my bones? Now, what's really important at this point is I did not know the root cause. Now, I don't care who anybody is and what expert doctor or genius from across the globe. Unless you know your root cause, there is no point putting stuff like a drug inside your body. When I say there's no point, it may be that there are special circumstances when you need to. So I'm not ruling out not ever using drugs, but there's something that says to me drugs are a last resort, and sometimes they're not, and I'll talk about that just in a second. But for me, I looked at it, and when the rheumatologist said to me, take calcium, vitamin D and this drug, something inside of me said, no, I need an opportunity. I'm not on my deathbed. I need 6 months to turn this around. I need 6 months to find out why this has happened. Now, the rheumatologist would not work with me. And I do actually now have a great doctor who does. She refused to listen to anything I talked about in terms of natural things. So I threw the prescription in the bin. And what I did is I set out on this journey to find out my root cause, which, as I said, I'll talk about another time. But if you put the right ingredients in your body and you believe and you open your heart and you focus, you're determined and you're courageous, because it's a courageous step to refuse drugs. If you do all of these things, and you're going to make mistakes, I've eaten stuff and then afterwards thought, maybe that wasn't the right thing. Because you see, when you find your root cause could be a multitude of things. And the important thing about osteoporosis, there is no one path in. It's not, I'm menopausal. It's not that I haven't been in the sun. It's not that I got a thyroid. It's lots of things. It's not just one thing. Now, it might be for you. And for me, what I found, there was a pathway of many, many, many things that all came together, that they were all like little clues. So I decided that I was going to be very focused, very determined, and that I would use all of the tools for natural healing at my disposal. So that not only meant what I drank, what I ate, any supplements I took, any kind of energy healing, any kind of exercise, everything, just even putting my feet on Mother Earth, anything that I felt was natural, that I intuitively felt was right for me. So what happened 2 weeks ago was, so just to explain, I'm still in pain, but I am now driving. I was coming down the mountain. It was Friday. I was going to meet some friends for lunch, and I'd been dawdling, and I didn't leave at my normal time. I was a little bit late. And as I was coming down the mountain, I picked up in front of me a very old white car, and something just said to me, don't overtake, just dawdle behind the car. And the car, even though he was driving, I found out later it was a he was driving slowly. It seemed, something didn't seem right. I just can't explain it, didn't seem right. Anyway, so we come down the mountain, and all of a sudden he veers across the road, and there was a tree, and his car smacked in the tree, flew up in the air, spun around and smacked on the floor. So without really thinking about anything, I leapt out the car. I didn't think, oh my goodness me, I have a fractured spine, I've got osteoporosis. You know, in all these months, I've been so careful. I didn't think anything. I just leapt out the car, ran across the road, noticed there were cars coming in either direction, leapt up and down, flagged them down, and it was probably only about a metre into the bit where his car had landed, and he'd landed into a ploughed field. The other side he'd gone down the mountain. So I leapt into that. I had silly little sandals on, and because it was ploughed, I kind of ran through that. I could not get his car door open. It was wedged open, and in my head was like, please be alive, car don't explode. You know, because you watch so many movies and so many films, you know, you get somewhere and the car goes poof. I was kind of expecting all kinds of crazy things. Anyway, so people came to help. Incident over. I went on my way. The following day, I saw every single muscle in my body. You can imagine the adrenaline hit I had. Every single muscle in my body hurt. And my osteoporosis put that right. But it wasn't until that following day, and I thought, I don't believe what I've just done. Nothing broke. You know, here's me, I've been so careful, bending my knees, not doing anything. And then, you know, an emergency arose, which showed me that all of the effort, and believe you me, I've put a lot of effort in, has paid off, and I've healed. Now, I just wanted to say before I leave just a little bit about drugs. And I said, you know, sometimes in my situation, I absolutely felt that drugs weren't the right way. But there have been times in my life when I've been really, really grateful for drugs. So when I was a youngster, a little baby, oh no, probably about 4, I think, 3, 4, don't know. I kept getting some really nasty ear infections, and it ended up that I got rushed into hospital, and I had an infection in the mastoid, which sits behind the ear, and they gave me masses and masses and masses of antibiotics. It was horrible, in my bottom. And the night I arrived in hospital, they'd had all of the nice dessert, and I was left with, I can't remember what it was, something like butterscotch blancmange. Well, it's funny how you remember those things. But I stayed in hospital for a while they arrested the infection and then sent me home. And probably about 7 years ago, I was in an art class, and I felt something crack in my jaw, and everything started to swell. And I was about 2 hours drive from home. So I left, I drove home, and as the evening progressed, all of this started to swell. And so I went to the emergency, and they gave me the strongest antibiotics that they could prescribe. And they said that if this hadn't gone down by the morning, I'd need to go into the hospital and go on IV antibiotics. So it's not that I am against drugs, because, you know, drugs do save people's lives. You know, if you've had a transplant of some kind, you need anti-rejection drugs. There are times when, you know, for whatever reason, you might have had part of your thyroid taken away. You know, there are reasons that we need to use medicines. So I think there's a time and a place for everything, but in this particular instance, I knew that natural healing was the right way to go. So that's my message for today is if you believe and you put the right ingredients in your body, and you are focused and determined, and you are open-minded in terms of experimentation, and you are looking for your root cause, then I'm sure that a natural way will help you to heal your osteoporosis. So that's me. I'm DaleDarley.com. See, it's too hot here. It's absolutely boiling. I'm Dale, DaleDarley.com, and healing osteoporosis naturally. And you can find me on Facebook in a group called Healing Osteoporosis Naturally as well. And please do come and join me in the group. I put lots and lots and lots of resources in there, so anything that I find goes in the group to help you be able to make informed decisions. So have a great day, lots of love.